The Corona Committee received a lot of donations, which they believed were not safe due to the recent history of bank accounts being seized by complicit governments. 1 million euros in gold was purchased and put in holding. To fund operations, both Reiner Fuellmich and Vivian Fischer took out secured loans.
At a time of grave risk for the money in our bank account, we decided to act immediately, and we took money out of that account, both she and I did, in order to save it and keep it from such an attachment so that we would be able to continue with our work, because had our account been attached, our bank account been attached, we wouldn't have been able to pay for the translators, for the IT, for the management, etc., etc.
Reiner's loan was for 700,000 euros and was to be repaid with the proceeds from selling his home, all documented and agreed upon by the committee. Members of the Corona Committee met with a law firm in August of 2022 and filed criminal charges against Fuellmich. Committee members Justice Hoffman, Marcel Templin, and Antonia Fischer claimed that Fuellmich embezzled 700,000 euros, the loan that he officially took out. They claimed he was a violent anti-Semite and that if he were given the opportunity to comment before criminal proceedings began, they would not file the complaint. 2 warrants were issued for his arrest, from Germany and from the EU, without Reiner's knowledge. Without an international arrest warrant, German and Mexican authorities illegally abducted Fuellmich at the German embassy in Mexico. He was then flown to the Frankfurt airport, where he was arrested and put in jail. International law experts are calling his arrest an illegal kidnapping. According to documented company plans, Fuellmich's loan was to be repaid after the sale of his property, but the very same people that filed the complaint against Fuellmich sabotaged this agreement. The contracts stated that the profits of the Fuellmich property was to be transferred to a Fuellmich account so that he could repay the loan. But the notary, who was sworn to be neutral and independent, instructed the buyers to transfer the 1.158 million euros into Marcel Templin's account, which made it impossible for Reiner to repay the loan. The loans were transparently agreed upon in written contracts. There was no secrecy, and the company was aware of the loans at all times. The evidence that proves this has been officially submitted to the court, who has chosen to ignore it and has muzzled the defense and ordered they not be allowed to mention it. The evidence shows that Hoffman, Templin, and the notary illegally obtained access to the profits of Fuellmich's property. And not only is the court ignoring this evidence, they have summoned these same people as witnesses against Fuellmich. The complaint states, Fuellmich has also made himself liable to prosecution for embezzlement by purchasing the gold bars without the consent of the shareholders, obscuring their existence and possessing them for himself. But the purchase of the gold bars is also documented. They are in holding and can only be accessed with the signatures of both Reiner Fuellmich and Vivian Fischer. This is shown in company documents, which were never given to the public prosecutor, but they have been submitted by the defense and are being ignored by the court. Furthermore, while the court froze Fuellmich's accounts, they failed to freeze the 1.158 million euros in Marcel Templin's account, which is presumably still there and appears to be the payoff for this internal coup. The trial is happening now in Germany, and the plaintiff's sloppy accusations are beginning to fall apart. One reporter at the trial said, "The case was totally destroyed, and one could only sit there in amazement." A journalist from Biddle TV said that Reiner will not only be released, but also compensated. The people who did this to him, in my opinion, will be charged themselves. It is beginning to appear as if justice may finally be served. In collaboration with Celia Farber of The Truth Barrier, this is Greg Reese.